The next tip I'm going to show you is the importance of freezing, and the tip exactly is freezing for CPU and how you can get the audio out of that without flattening. So I've just got a little sort of thing here. Nothing too incredible, and it's definitely not taking up hardly any CPU. If it is, you should probably get a new computer, no offense. But what we can do here is we can freeze it so we can just hear the audio, but we won't be able to play with this. And what this does, it saves CPU usage because it's just rendering the audio. It's not actually having to resynthesize the sound. So the way you do this is you right-click on the track and then click Freeze Track. And it'll take a small time or a long time to load, depending on how long your track is or how long the MIDI clip is. And we can still play it. We can't actually go in and edit the notes or add any notes or anything. However, if you actually want to extract the audio from this and either delete this, you could flatten it. However, that's quite long. So what I do is I create a new audio track that you want to lay it down on, and then you select the regions. So hold Shift and then click both of them. And then you hold Alt and click and drag down. And this basically makes the audio, as you can hear. So my third tip that I'd like to give is what I call hot swapping samples. And it's also what Ableton calls it. So let's, just as an example, get some kicks up and a sort of kick variation that we like. Pretty trappy. Now, say for example, we've got this sort of kick arrangement going on. We like the sort of arrangement of everything. It sounds pretty cool. However, it's the actual sound that we don't like. Now, you can actually change the sound of this without having to drag in a new drum and actually make the same drum group and recreate it. You can actually just copy straight from this. Now, the way you do this is you go to View, and then you go down to File Manager, and that brings up this little, or this big box around here. Now, the way you change the sound here is you click Manage Set. And then it opens up this little view here, which means you view files, and it shows you the files that you're using. So we're using 04 trap kick, industry kick. Now what you do here is you click on that, make sure it's the right sound, and we've used the right sound here. So then you click this little button here, and it turns orange, and it says hot swap mode. And all you do is you find the kick that you like, maybe that or that, and then you just press enter, and there you go. So the fourth tip that I believe is incredibly important when using Ableton is shortcuts, and especially the shortcuts I'm going to show you are mostly for navigation, so getting your way around Ableton so you know exactly how to do it quickly and save you a million mouse clicks. So they all start off with the same two key commands, which is Command and then Alt. So the first one I'm going to show you is how to get rid of this bottom bar, and that is Command, Alt, and L. Now a lot of these key commands sometimes don't make sense, like with what keys are used, but it's just really worth going through them and actually practicing them. When I first heard them, I was a bit skeptical, but I powered on through and tried to learn them, and they helped me so much. I use them all the time. So that's Command, Alt, L for the bottom bar. Now the next one is the Finder bar, and that is Command, Alt, B. So you can get rid of the bottom bar and the Finder bar, so it just makes the screen a lot bigger. But we want to make it even larger and even more easier to look at. So the next one is the return tracks, so you can hide them with Command, Alt, R, which is a bit easier to remember, R standing for returns. So yeah, so that's Command, Alt, R. The next one is the mixer, so where it says the inputs here. Command, Alt, M, which is easier to remember. M standing for mixer. And then the last one will actually be the overview up here. So this is where, for example, if you want to zoom in on a part of the track or see exactly where the different color clips are, it takes up some space. Command, Alt, O.